Every log is a weapon against winter.
Imagine standing in a Viking longhouse as the Scandinavian wind howls outside. Snowdrifts pile against the turf walls. The sea beyond the fjord is frozen solid. There's no furnace humming, no thermostat glowing on the wall, no heated floors beneath your feet. And yet, inside, the family is warm enough to eat, sleep, and even laugh together. How? We often think of the Vikings as warriors, raiders, explorers, but their greatest battles weren't always fought on the seas. Many were fought in their homes, against winters that could kill the unprepared in hours. And the surprising part? Their heating methods weren't just effective. In many ways, they were more sustainable and in some ways smarter than what we rely on today. Tonight, we'll peel back the sod roof of the Viking longhouse and reveal 10 ingenious heating hacks that not only help them thrive, but hold lessons for our energy-strained future. The Viking longhouse was the ultimate cold weather machine. From the outside, it looked like a giant earthen loaf of bread, with walls built of timber frames packed with turf, thick blocks of grass and soil. These weren't accidental building choices. Turf had high thermal mass. It trapped heat and released it slowly, keeping temperatures steady. The roof, layered with sod. Grass grew on top, anchoring soil in place. This green blanket provided incredible insulation, cool in summer, warm in winter, and virtually weatherproof. Modern eco-builders pay fortunes to recreate what the Vikings had for free: a living roof. Ceilings were kept low. Unlike today's lofty vaulted homes, longhouses trapped heat where people actually lived, close to the floor. Doors were narrow, windows almost non-existent, minimizing drafts. Every design choice was an energy-saving calculation, made centuries before sustainability was a buzzword. At the center of every longhouse burned its beating heart: the hearth. A single open fire pit running the length of the home did the work of a kitchen, furnace, and light bulb all at once. Meals were cooked over its flames, water boiled, tools dried. The smoke, while thick, had purpose. It curled up into the rafters, preserving hanging meat and fish like a natural smokehouse. At the same time, it coated timbers with a layer of soot, which made the roof beams more resistant to insects and decay. Vikings didn't waste fuel. Fires were banked low, embers preserved, and heat carefully managed. Fuel came from dried wood, and where forests thinned, peat, dried blocks of compacted plant matter cut from bogs. Peat burned slow and steady, perfect for long winter nights. And the hearth wasn't just practical, it was social. Families gathered around it, sharing warmth, food, and stories. The fire wasn't just heat, it was community. Here's something modern sustainability experts rarely mention. Vikings turned their animals into heating units. Longhouses were divided. Humans lived in one section, livestock in another, separated by low partitions. During freezing nights, cows, goats, and sheep weren't just valuable food sources. They were radiators on legs. A cow can generate as much as 1,000 BTUs of heat per hour, enough to warm a small room. Multiply that by a herd, and suddenly your longhouse has a built-in heating system that costs nothing but care and feed. Yes, it smelled. Yes, it was messy. But in a world where winter could kill, practicality trumped comfort. The animals survived, the people survived, and together they created a warmer microclimate inside the turf walls. If the walls and hearth were the house's insulation, the clothing and bedding were the personal armor. Wool was the Vikings' miracle material. Even when wet, wool retains heat, making it perfect for damp northern climates. Thick woven blankets, cloaks, and tunics layered together created portable insulation. Furs, from fox, bear, reindeer, topped it off, trapping precious body heat. Inside longhouses, walls were sometimes hung with heavy tapestries or hides, turning bare planks into insulated surfaces. At night, beds were layered with straw, wool blankets, and hides. Families cocooned themselves into nests that trapped every bit of warmth. Today, Mountaineers talk about the layering system. Vikings invented it. A longhouse wasn't designed for privacy. It was designed for survival. Families slept side by side, sometimes dozens in a single structure. This wasn't just cultural, it was thermodynamics. Every human body generates around 100 watts of heat at rest. Pack enough people together and you've got a furnace. Children, elders, and the vulnerable were often placed at the warmest spots, closest to the hearth, surrounded by others. Adults on the outside formed protective barriers. Sleeping close wasn't a choice, it was the most reliable heating hack they had. We might crave personal space today, but for the Vikings, shared warmth was shared survival. The longhouse wasn't just a shelter. It was a carefully tuned environmental system. Builders oriented them with prevailing winds in mind. Doors faced away from the harshest gusts. Roofs sloped to shed snow, but also acted like wind scoops, channeling drafts towards smoke vents. Placement mattered too. Longhouses often nestled against natural windbreaks, forests, hillsides, even cliffs that radiated stored sunlight into the evening air. They didn't fight the landscape, they cooperated with it, making the environment itself part of their heating strategy. Firewood and peat weren't infinite. Mismanaging them meant freezing to death. Vikings had fuel discipline. Wood was harvested and split months in advance, stored under shelter to dry. Peat bogs were cut systematically and stacked in airy piles for slow curing. Fires were never wasteful. They burned low and steady. Heat maximized with reflective hearthstones and careful placement. Children grew up learning that fire was currency. To waste it was to waste survival itself. Sustainability wasn't a philosophy, it was common sense hammered into daily life. To us, smoke-filled longhouses sound miserable, but even the smoke worked to their advantage. Thick rafters trapped and held smoke under the roof, creating a warm zone of rising heat. This layer reduced heat loss through the roof, working like an accidental form of insulation. Meanwhile, that same smoke preserved meat, hides, and tools while driving insects out. It was a discomfort with hidden rewards. Ironically, the smoky longhouse may have been healthier in some ways than we imagine. It reduced pests and extended food supplies, both essential for winter survival. So what do Viking hacks have to do with us, sitting in modern homes with flickering thermostats? More than you think. Their turf roofs inspire modern earthship homes and green roof designs. Their low ceilings and compact layouts mirror modern passive house principles. Their wool layering is echoed in sustainable clothing movements rejecting synthetics. And their discipline with fuel, treating every log as precious, is exactly the mindset needed in a world facing energy shortages. The Vikings remind us that sustainability isn't new, it's ancient. What's striking isn't just that the Vikings survived, it's that they thrived. They built societies, sailed oceans, raided, traded, and farmed, all while spending half the year in climates that could kill. Their homes weren't drafty huts, they were sophisticated heating systems built from earth, wood, and intelligence. In today's energy-strained world, when we worry about heating bills and sustainability, maybe we should look backward, because the Vikings already solved problems we're struggling with. Morning breaks. Frost still coats the land. But inside the longhouse, families stir awake. The fire smolders low. Livestock grumble in their stalls. Everyone is alive, warm enough to carry on another day. So here's the question. Would you survive a Viking winter without central heating? Or would you tap out by the first night? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed uncovering Viking survival genius, hit like and subscribe. Because history isn't just about the past, it's about solutions we may desperately need again.
Please subscribe for more videos.